So back to this video that I talked about October 31st, 2023 and November 1st, 2023. So October 31st, 2023 was Tuesday, and the next following day was Wednesday, which is the first day of the month of November. So there's more details about October 31st, 2023. So, as you know, I had to go to court on October 31st, 2023. And that was a Tuesday. And the purpose of me going to court was to actually ask the judge for more time, give me an extension to live at this apartment, you know. And the attorney was telling me that the judge may not give me this option, since I gave forgiveness. She said to me about forgiveness. She said that they did it this is happening way too many times, and this is going to be this one may be this. The judge may not give me an extension at all because it's happening too many times. But he finally gave me an extension, which is 1 month and a few weeks. So it's been it's over a month and it's going on to a week, and I only have like a week or two to actually move out of this apartment, right? But anyway, I was satisfied with what the judge said to me, and I said to my father that I have more time. He said that's good. So I remember going to shopping world, and I wanted to go to the ATM. I wanted to access the ATM machine so I can take some cash because this particular ATM machine is only the fee is 99 cents, and I'm like trying to get my money out of this ATM machine, using the welfare card. Of course, I'm on welfare, and I know I'm also a full time college student. I couldn't get no money out of this ATM machine because the ATM machine said that I have insufficient funds, which means that the funds that's supposed to be on my card was stolen by someone. And that's not the first time that happened. This makes the second time that this happens, right? This happened the second time. I mean, and I decided to go to the Chinese food restaurant, and I noticed that the lady looked a bit occupied. But in my mind, it looked a bit occupied, but she's really occupied. And there's another customer besides me who's waiting for their food. They look like they're middle school students, or high school students, middle school students. They had to be high school students because they were dressed in casual clothing. Um, the lady took a really long time, over 20, 30 minutes, and she looked at me. So I'm like saying to myself, why did she look at me? She looked at you, right? She was looking at me, as I said in this video. And I'm like, why is she looking at me? And she said, she did say something to me. So I got up, and then she said, "What do you want?" And I said in this video that the lady, right, which is the employee, she's overwhelmed with her orders that with the orders that she's taken over the phone and also on the internet. And when she finally called me, she said chicken wing fried rice. Uh, you know, she said that she said that I told her to put hot sauce and ketchup all over the chicken and rice. And I'm like saying to myself, huh? I never said anything about putting any hot sauce or any ketchup over my rice and chicken. So what this means is that she's over, right? She is this confirmed that she's overwhelmed with her work because she's over her mind is overtasked, And since it's overtasked, the program, like I said, I remember I had mentioned in order for the multi-agent quantum AI computers to produce an artificial mind, and get the artificial mind to start working, is to actually induce. It's induced to you have to find ways to trigger the the artificial mind at that time to actually project these behaviors towards me. So since she's overwhelmed, what do you want? And not only saying what do you want, she's also having other tasks in mind. That mind is overtasked. That's because that artificial mind is what also her that artificial mind that she have at that time, right, is on auto set, automatically carrying out tasks that the multi-agent quantum AI computers had designed for her at that time. Because remember, the artificial intelligence enhanced thoughts, it enhanced memories, right? Task is just a task, and it seems that her actual mind can't really keep up with that task, and it's overwhelmed. And she's so overwhelmed by her work. When she saw me get up, she said, "Hey, what do you want?" Right, to understand it. That's the reaction. And then she put hot sauce and ketchup all over my chicken and rice. What does this mean? This means that the lady still have other customers outside, right? She's taking orders from customers outside this restaurant, not just inside, outside this restaurant, and that's by internet and phone. So whatever they're saying to her, right? She's plugging it in her mind, and she's thinking that I said to her to put ketchup and hot sauce all over my chicken. You see, that's what I'm saying. Because I know I never said that to her, but someone on the phone or on the internet said that to her, and she's trying to save that information into her actual mind. But it's still that using there's a certain percentage of using the actual mind and artificial mind. But I start understanding the artificial mind better. When as I continue experiencing this type of treatment, what I mean is not being able to get a job, people are avoiding me on the internet now, and also in real life, and being put in these predicaments over and over. All these occurrences in real life and online is what helped me build my understanding of the artificial mind, the technology, my experience understanding behavior. And I know I'm a psychology student. That's also part of helping me understand. It's a boost. Just going to college is boost my understanding. But I know that the college information is, the way I'm seeing it is disinformation. College is disinformation, and but then again, I start learning from how people behave in college and how they teach, how the professors teach the materials and such. But anyway, there's more. And just like I went to Popeyes the next following day, November 1st, 2023, which is Wednesday, and I waited on, I said I was going to I said I was going to go to the UPS store to ship out my package. And I'm getting exhausted because I'm walking a lot. And I said I was craving for some spicy chicken sandwich. And then I saw that there was a lady and a guy, in front of the cashier, and the cashier was in front of the cash register. And then I saw that the cashier gave the food to the customer, and I approached the counter, and I saw the staff members looking at me, and they're Indian. And then the Indian lady who's supposed to be, be a cashier at that time, right, she's supposed to serve the food and or be an actual employee. She didn't stand in front of the cash register. Instead, she just looked at me, and I had my $10. I'm holding my $10, and she said to me, "What do you want?" Right? And I'm just going, I'm just re-explaining what I just been through at that time, retrospective, and I'm explaining how everything just occurs at that time. They follow, they correspond. October 31st, 2023 corresponds with November 1st, 2023, with the the employee of the Chinese food restaurant and also the Popeyes employee, at the Popeyes restaurant. How they asked me the same questions, right? The same question. I mean, what do you want? So let me apply my experience. I'm applying my experiences, right? So I had mentioned about court. So I remember when I was living in the Palm Hotel. This is in Kissimmee, Florida, from 2000 what some from spring 2015 to spring 2018. Right, I noticed there's a lot of anomalies happening to me as I started talking about governments and the way human beings behave and their mind and the way I'm situated. I can't get it. No matter how many times I try, I can't get a job. The people on the internet talk down to me. They criticize my grammar. They would confront me about my posts or bring up my posts in the past. So what I notice is that when I make people on the internet look silly, or when good, or when something happens to me that is good, or that is out of the program control at times, out of the control, out of the well, it's out of the AI. It may have difficulties at times. I would need to use the word control. Let's just scratch off the word control and say that the multi-agent quantum AI computers have difficulties at times when it comes to executing what I'm doing in real life and also on the internet, and it retaliates. Like for example, uh, it makes the front desk receptionist gossip about me, even though I don't even know who the lady is. I've never seen her before. I never seen her before, and she gossips about me. And yeah, I think I saw her one time, but other than that, I don't really see her. I don't even know her. And I remember July 2016. The front desk receptionist asked my mom, "What is my what is your son up to?" She asked me, "What am I up to?" And I'm like, "What? Am I going crazy for the internet? Right? Why is he so fixated on me being on the internet? The whole conversation is about the internet with me." And then she had mentioned something she mentioned. Well, she talked about the children at the Palm Hotel. That was during the summertime, that they kept pestering her about the internet. And I'm like, hey, why is it that my name comes out of the why is it that the front desk receptionist had me in her mind, but she left out my sister, right? She left out my sister. She had me in her mind and children who lives in the Palm Hotel pestering her about the internet, but she left out my sister. My sister is also my part of the family here. We live in the same the same room. My mom and my sister and I live in the same room, and we all use the internet. So why is it that my sister's left out, and yet the front desk receptionist talked about the kids who lives in the Palm Hotel? So what I would do is try to understand what's going on here. This absolutely is illogical. The way the lady speaks to my mom is illogical, and my mom is not recognizing this silly response. It seems like she plays a role as a messenger. She actually gives me context about how the front desk lady thinks about me, right? Which means that the front desk lady, the front desk receptionist is having conversations with other people, other staff members about me, right? Which is true. That's how I started understanding it. Understanding how the people, the staff members' thought process about me. They all think alike. Why is it they all think alike? And then the internet would come off, for 2 months, and all of a sudden, my mom and my sister becomes very aggressive towards me. They talk really down to me. Really messed up responses. Talking about me being on the streets. Um, I wouldn't know what to do. No, no, I'm just talking about. I'm also talking about 2017. Like, for example, was it January 16, 17? It was around that, from 16 to 20 to 24. My mom and my sister started ganging up on me and talking about that I'm going to be on the streets, and and the people are gonna steal my electronics, and I wouldn't know what to do. So this is, I had mentioned this back in. I had talked about how my mom, right, in New York City, was saying this to me back in June 20th, 2021. She had talked about me. She derailed the conversation. It was about umbrella and rain. Then she talked about me being on the streets with all of my personal belongings. I wouldn't know what to do. Why is it that I need to be on the streets? Why is it that everybody has the same like-minded mind about me being on the streets? And I'm a workaholic, right? I'm a person who's willing to get myself a job. I'm a person who's spending hours and hours in school, and I'm talking about college and passing my classes over and over and over, and without failing. And I'm trying to achieve, I'm trying to achieve a degree where so I could, so I could be able to have a career of my own, and be able to afford a place, for myself, so I wouldn't be dependent on the government. And my everybody around me is fixated on putting me on the streets. Why is it so fixated on the streets? Why should I be on the streets for? What I ever did? I was already homeless for 8 years, and I was in the streets before when I was a high school student. When I was a senior in high school, I was in the streets. So why should I be in the streets again? Well, for what? What did I ever do to people to make them behave this way? So whatever I write on the internet, it affects the people in my environment. The more I write, the more effective they get. And I had talked about this back in October 2019. If you go back in October 2019 on my videos, you see that I'm standing in front of a gap. I'm doing a live stream, and I talked about the environment. Environment becomes more effective, right? It's not just because I'm writing on the internet, right? It's also because I'm putting effort to get myself out of the situation of being homeless. Because at the time I was living in a homeless shelter. The more effort I put with my schoolwork, the worse it gets. Like all of a sudden, my partner completely ditched me. She ditched me, and she gave me her phone number, and I texted her. She didn't text me back. It's like my sister. My sister completely ditched me. You know, on July 31st, 2023. And I remember back in fall 2014, my mom's family, my cousin's friend said to my mom to ditch me, even though she doesn't live in New York City. I mean, she doesn't live in Florida. She lives in New York City, but she doesn't live in Tampa, Florida. And then she's telling my mom to ditch me because the objective is to put me on the streets and not let turn make sure that everybody have the same beliefs about me. So everything I do on the internet, or everything I do to help me become, to make progress in life, so I won't be dependent on the government or be in the shelter or the streets, always, and I always end up getting derailed. I always end up getting derailed and being put back in the same situation over again. So I look back on the way I was situated here with the Chinese food restaurant and Popeyes, and I applied what I experienced in Florida, and I said to myself, "Yeah, this is indeed the program, right? It's making people behave silly towards me. They're very silly." And and I think about how my mom, when we was living in New York City in a shelter back in summer 2018, my mom just I said to my mom that this bed. I'm a little too tall for this bed. you know. And then she said that the real tall people are tall for this bed. Real tall. She just blurts out the word real tall people, but that's not actually an English word. Do you ever heard of the phrase real tall people? You know. And I look back on how I talked on social anxiety support community, and I have a signature that mentioned the real creator. I mentioned about the real creator, and also on YouTube. So whatever I write on the internet affects the people in my environment. It makes them behave aggressively, and that's what people on here and on YouTube, right? Targeted individuals was talking about that people behave very aggressively. But then again, the people on here on YouTube and also outside of YouTube, they seem to not have a strong understanding of human behavior and the way human beings think. and social skills. They don't have social skills to understand how people socialize, right? And know that they all think alike. So someone would say, "Oh, that's a hive mind." But hey, the next following day, me and my mom and sister went to family the Dollar Tree, right? And my mom said to me and my sister to find a cart, but the cart, everybody was in the store, and everybody was using that cart, and we couldn't find a cart. We couldn't get a cart at all. So me and my sister just waited for someone to actually finish using their cart. But I see that they were me and my sister were seeing that they were going back outside with the cart. So we couldn't just keep waiting there. We just wanted to actually find something like a find anything. There's a what do you call it, a basket cart. And as soon as my sister decided to get the basket cart, all of a sudden these two tall African American men, they're taller than me because I know I'm 6'2" or what, 6'2", 6'3". They look like they're 6'7", 6'6", 6'7". Just came walking in the store, the dollar, the Founding Dollar. I mean the Dollar Tree. And as soon as my sister gets back to my mom, my sister said, just blurted out to my mom, "Hey, I see the real tall people." And my mom looks and said, "Yeah, that's the real tall people, right?" They're on auto set. They seem to become fixated. They just keep dwelling on it over and over. You know, Christmas time is coming, right? And you see how people are so fixated on Christmas, right? They're they're actually doing someone else's they're actually celebrating someone else what someone wanted them to celebrate. It's someone else's purpose, right? They're celebrating someone else's purpose, right? I had mentioned about the AI and the people who created this program and the actual people. Well, they're also pawns. But the main programmers, right, created this program so they could actually maintain civilization, right? And the purpose of Christmas is also to maintain civilization, to observe how families and friends and you know that's what I'm saying. And they're on the people when they get their gift, and the children they're on auto set. They're not completely they're right. The artificial mind is like saying, oh, if they feel happy, they're getting a gift and the mistletoe and such. They want to spend holidays with their family. That's on auto. They're on auto set with it. Like my mom and my sister, when they mention about the real tall people, they become fixated. No matter I can't snap them out of it. Automatically unresponsive. I keep talking and saying to my mom, "Hey, what happened to the food? What's going on? What's wrong with you people?" And they keep dwelling on it, dwelling on the real tall people because with the AI saw that I wrote on the internet about the real creator, and it knows that I'm onto what's going on, right? It keeps mentioning about real creator. And when I was living in Florida, I remember seeing words in my dreams, and it was around what, May, April, was it April, May? That was the time when my mom went outside with Carolyn. So I wrote it in my notes. And I'm trying to memorize my notes. Was it the 17th? Because I was supposed to get a battery pack and it wasn't delivered and I had to contact the Amazon employees online to give me either a replacement or a refund. So I remember I was asleep. Was it during the time or was it? No, it was during the time when my mom had mentioned about Carolyn. She said that her friend Carolyn ended up getting stopped by the sheriff because she was driving too fast. Or no, not driving too. That she ended up getting stopped by the sheriff because she did something. Well, she did something inappropriate at passers, and the sheriff recognized her. So anyway, I remember I was asleep, and I remember looking at Key Food in a dream, and I mentioned, the Key Food is located in Jamaica, Queens, New York, but I live in Kissimmee, Florida, right in the tourist area, and I remember the word said "real creator." The word in the dream said "real creator." So I look back at it, and I try matching it. And what I learned here is that you know what I learned here is that the artificial intelligence is making my mom and my sister just become fixated on the word real tall people, because this is the AI way of mocking me for writing on it, for writing the word real trader on my signature. And just like it knows that I'm a member on social anxiety support community, and it's using the moderator called Will You Stop Dave as a way to actually get me to stop talking about my experiences. It's using Mr. Will You Stop Dave to make me feel intimidated from talking online about what I usually talk about. So every post that I've created for people, right, in their minds, they're filtering my post as just nothing but conspiracy theories. That I just want to talk about conspiracy theories, not talk about what's actually happening with my life. Right? Like how people you know make me feel self-conscious. The way that people treat me as a human being is not right. And at times I become very self-conscious about being around people. It makes me not want to be around people, right? And I was diagnosed as I was diagnosed as having social anxiety, and I had nearly have it I had it my whole entire life, right? So even the the people on the internet, right? They're trying to make me look like a person who does not have any social anxiety and who does not want to talk about what the original poster wants to talk about. Their objective is to derail my post and tell me that my post is completely irrelevant to the original poster's thread. When everybody, right, has their beliefs, their own opinions, and their beliefs about the topic that the original poster posts. But since the moderators wants to apply their beliefs, right, to my own post, they want to say that my post is completely irrelevant to actually erase me, or you can say they're going to try to erase me as a member on that community, so I wouldn't talk about this information no more. So I learned that I started understanding the way people behave. Everything I do that can help me make progress or help me, understand my situation, I get either, everything happens. What I mean is, the people around me starts to behave unusual. They become aggressive. Like for example, when I had corrected someone on the internet, they had mentioned that people are so used to me that they completely ignore me, and I made them look silly. In real life, I noticed that my mom and my sister would behave aggressive out of nowhere. They started talking down to me, as I said earlier, or my mom would start picking on my clothes. And then she would tell me that I didn't hang up my clothes properly. When she said, "Hey, you didn't hang up your clothes properly." When I did, she just knocked it down. I see her just knocked it down, and she's telling me I didn't hang it up. I didn't hang my clothes properly, and I did. She starts picking on things, just like when she wakes up from her, she was going to sleep, and within 15 minutes, she just completely snapped, stares at me, and yells. She snaps. First of all, she yelled at me from across the room, and she tells me, "You need a job. You gonna get a job?" And then she tells me I'm still talking, and I'm still talking, you know. And she talks down to me, and she tells me FYI. I'm like, what are you talking about, FYI? And then the next day when I tell her, she said FYI. I said, what do you mean by FYI? She said, I don't know what you're talking about. I never said FYI. I don't know what that even means. She said that to me. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Just like my sister said to me, well, silly nonsense. And I said to my sister, you said silly nonsense. She said, I didn't say nothing like that. I don't know what you're talking about. I've seen some crazy behavior. So that's when I started understanding about the artificial mind and how the people behave aggressively without even being self-aware of it. They're not even aware. Just like Mr. Will You Stop Dave on social anxiety support community, he's not aware of his own attitude. He's just telling me that whatever I'm saying is completely out, is inappropriate. That's it, and it's not following guideline. He only picks on posts, right? Posts that he feels based off his beliefs that is inappropriate. It's based off his personal beliefs. It's not based off of guideline on the community. Because I never said anything. I never used no curse word. I never threatened someone. I never spam. And he would mark my post as spam. He said I'm spamming. That's it. I'm spamming. Every time I talk about my experiences with my idea is spam. And when I just talked about my experiences only, or the way people, like for example, I could talk about maybe this when someone created an inappropriate thread about strippers or something, and it's on the frustration section. So I said, wait, why would you be talking about that? That could be someone's mom and or daughter or grandmother, and Mr. Will You Stop Dave quoted me and said, WTF, what the fuck, to make me look like there's something wrong with my behavior, that I just want to go on there, go on social anxiety support community and troll. He had me as a troll. So this is how people on this community see, perceive me as, right? Like the whole, it's as if this moderator wants to turn the whole entire community, makes, or you could say makes the, he wants to influence them. That's it. Just like Versik, what Versik brought up the word influence. Like Versik, that's not a moderator, but he's a regular member. He said he's not trying to influence people about me when he is, because he's telling people that I talk about my beliefs in every thread he goes on, and that I go on, right? Every thread that I go on, I always create. He's telling me that I always create these posts about share my beliefs in every thread that I go on, and the whole purpose of being on this community, right? As a human being, and knowing that there's other members on there, I see that there's other members on this community talking about their beliefs and every thread that they go on. They're all posting, their beliefs and everything they go, and no one's, confronting them about it. But I talk about it. There's definitely not a belief. Then, if he's upset, if he's triggered by my posts, and I'm not even directly talking to him. Why is he confronting me and telling another member that I talk about my beliefs in every thread I go on? Those are definitely not belief, because he's really offended by them. He's triggered the member that I don't even know. So obviously he's not released, and obviously it's not an opinion. He thinks it's just there's truth, there's truth to it. That's why he keeps looking at my posts. He's fixated on my posts. The one he's also telling me that it's repetitive, right? Is not repetitive. Is that is he's the one who keeps reading my posts. He has the option to not read it, and he's not ignoring it. He keep reading it. That's why he's telling me that it's repetitive. So I try understanding. I try to apply what I learn, in real life and also online, and understand these two different events, these time and places for Popeyes and the Chinese food restaurant. So whatever the court, what the judge made the decision for me to have a month and an extra few weeks left, and the AI, it seems irritated by that judgment. So that's weird, because the judge is supposed to have an artificial mind to make these decisions. So how is it that this program inside a quantum computer is so upset that I have an extra month in 2 weeks? Right? Because it's making the Chinese lady, the employee, right, at this Chinese food restaurant, behave very aggressive towards me, speaking of aggressive tone. Right? She's not talking in a as an employee respecting a customer. She's speaking in an aggressive manner. What do you want? As well as the next following day, the Popeyes employee also spoke in an aggressive manner. What do you want? And stares at my $10. Like what? Like what? I'm not supposed to hand her $10. I'm the one who wants the food. I'm a paying customer, right? This is my money. So why is it that I can't use my money here? She's telling me, the Popeyes employee is telling me, she can't serve me. We're sorry, we can't serve you today. I'm like, what kind of? Well, this is the first time I actually had I went. This is the first time I went to a restaurant where I had I'm talking about not the first time going to the restaurant. Literally, I'm talking about going to a restaurant where I have an employee just stare at my $10, like what, stare at my money, like, hey, what do you, what is your purpose of using that money? I never seen this type of behavior at a fast food restaurant before. This is my first time experiencing this behavior. But I experienced this behavior, right, outside these restaurants. But for restaurants, this is the first time, because I had talked about the Palm Hotel and the front desk receptionist and my mother out of nowhere, she just wakes up and she just snaps at me and screams and across the room saying, "Are you gonna get a job?" And I have videos of her, just behaving, creepy. And my sister would notice it too. There was a time. Usually, my sister doesn't notice it, but to notice it, damn, that means my mother is very aggressive, right? She noticed how psycho my mom is behaving. My mom continues to talk nonstop without giving her mouth a break. It's like she doesn't know any better. Just like when she ended up going outside on a Tuesday of December 14th, 2021, she said, "I can't stand this fucking place no more." You know, and then a few days later, she ends up getting the coronavirus, and then she tells me that the gum is, I gave her the gum. You know, it makes the program makes people do some silly stuff, and I end up getting blamed for it. And that's why you have to pay attention, because the artificial mind is definitely unconscious, and it's ridiculous to know that I had to deal with this. It is deal with this on a 100% level. I had to put like I had to actually the level. I mean, the level of what I mean is the way is done to me is on 100% level. That it's at the highest level, and it's done methodically. Is to set me up in situations to make me look like there's something wrong with my behavior when it's the way that people behave. Some ridiculous stuff. I never seen. This is some crazy. This is the worst of the worst, the most atrocious behavior I ever seen in my life. Wow, to know that this is what I'm experiencing in real life is ridiculous. This is how I sit. This is I usually spend hours sitting down writing how people behave on a notepad, on a notepad, on my smartphone, or on my any electronic, and I would sit there and compare and contrast just for hours. I'm telling you, this is what I do. Or when I'm on the social anxiety support community, I would be there for hours just writing and comparing, contrasting. The people would stumble upon my post and say, "Hey man, me and you have something in common," because I was just talking about the way people behave, or someone would just stumble upon my post and say, "Hey, there's something wrong with the way that people behave in real life. I notice it. It's something's going on. There's it might be a government, but it's more than just government. Aliens more than just aliens. Even though there's an artificial intelligence that does it, right? Where did the concept of it come from? Where did it come from, man? Where did that idea come from? Artificial intelligence. And the person who created that idea of artificial intelligence is the one who brought this program here. Besides aliens, there's more. So I gave that a name online, and I said real creator. Man, this is ridiculous to know that this is happening to me. It's so annoying to deal with. So annoying, especially in New York City. It's the worst place. I'd rather live in a place where there's less people, and I would say that on social anxiety support community. Living in an area or you could say living in a city, or no, not a city. Living in a small town is the best way to go. Less people, less people, right? The less people there are, the less they think alike. That's what I notice. The less they think alike, and this the environment is more calmer when there's less people. Here in New York City, there's more people. No wonder why the environment is like this. Because of the way that people behave and their beliefs is what shapes this environment. That's why this environment can constantly that's why the artificial intelligence can constantly remap the environment here in New York City and put me in situations and put my mom in a situation where she is exposed herself to to someone who had the coronavirus. So if it could do that, then imagine how it could do, lure someone to have sex with someone, get them to have HIV or no, AIDS or HIV because it knows the person had AIDS and HIV, right? The person who's actually having it is in their system. So I started understanding that when I was a teenager. I used to watch what do you call that guy, Easy E, and I used to look at Biggie Smalls, and I used to investigate murders. I spent time investigating rappers' murders, and I would like try to understand why these people are gone or what's going on. Something isn't right. I would spend hours and hours doing investigation. That's how I. That's when I see, those notice anomalies. I would concentrate on why these are happening. Or things that are not solved. I would try to do it myself in my mind. So this is how I started off. Try thinking of situations or information that I'm creating, and I try to apply them to have understanding. So that's like me. I'm a thinker, and there's not enough thinkers out there. More like they think there's only what I see is that there's thinkers. I see that there's people who not thinker, people who receive assistance from the program to think. Like I mentioned earlier on this video, enhance the program enhances their thoughts. So thank you for watching, and I don't know there's going to be a video. I'm going to be busy with studying. Uh, thank you for watching, and I know this is a depressing time for me. Maybe might be the last time I actually do a recording for this YouTube. It's ridiculous. But thanks for watching.